What is cheaply made but sold at a ridiculous price? I'll never forget learning that the movie theater I worked at paid $5 for a 24-pack of Dasani bottles. We charged $4.50 for one. The movie theater near me has a Starbucks built in with the same prices as other nearby Starbuckses. It's the cheapest drinks at the theater. Barrettes, hair clips and other bits of plastic that hold your hair in place. I get these at dollar stores because the high-end pharmacies charge way too much. Most luxury brands with huge obvious logos on them. Makeup, that's beep is produced cheap. Especially the high-end brands. Printer cartridges. Out of ink? Guess I'll just buy a new printer. AP pens. They cost like $2 to make and then are sold for like $150. Paid $400 2 years ago. Sodium chloride 4 bags in hospitals in the United States. It costs less than $1 to make, but hospitals can charge over $200 per bag. $500 per so I have seen on medical records. Baby clothes are marked up by 1000% on average. No kidding. Buying clothes at Christmas for my niece, nephew, and stepson was flooring. Now we have another one on the way. I'm hoping hand-me-downs will be like 90% of the clothing we have for it. Designer handbags. At least in recent years to meet the demand of the newly rich. There's a huge industry of Chinese immigrant workers in Tuscany, Italy, who manufacture the bags there, so that it can bear the coveted Made in Italy label. They are perhaps not that cheaply made, but still not the value of the prices they command. Bottled water. For real. Poland Spring? Read up on it. Heavily treated groundwater. Water from potentially contaminated sources. The actual Poland Spring having gone dry years ago. The town of Freiburg's a major supplier for Poland Spring water supply failing, but Poland Spring water delivery kept right on track. Nestle is beeping soulless. They have argued that clean water is not a human right. College textbooks on their 2nd to 100th edition. What's even worse is that on some editions, Pearson just gives you your textbook without binding. Just beeping paper. Like the pages are in a loose paper pile. At least they give you punched out holes so you can put them in a binder. But for beep's sake. $130 for the speep? Cheap pricks. Oh. And having to pay like $80 for online access. That only lasts for the semester. Not permanent ownership. I hope they die out soon. Glasses. I watched a video on the sunglasses/glasses/eyewear industry in middle school economics, and we've been scammed this entire time. I was a certified optician and ran a lens lab for Pearl Vision in the early 2000s. Our most expensive frames, excluding the weird Armani Speep we carried, cost us $20 to $30 per frame. They sold for $200 to $400 depending. Our cheapest frames cost us $2 to $3 each, and none sold for less $50. The lenses. That's a lot of markup. I started in a brand new store, and we had a brand new lab full of Essilor hardware. Latest and greatest at the time. Standard lenses. Nothing special, just the standard CR32 plastic in a typical prescription. They cost $2 or so and we charged $40 each. So a basic pair of glasses cost us $8 in materials and was sold for $130. The worst markup was on the high-end lenses. At Pearl at that time the top end were the Pro lenses. Micro-thin polycarbonate aspheric lenses with anti-scratch and anti-reflective coating. Basically, if you have a strong prescription, 3 or so aspheric can make a much thinner and lighter lens that can give you the same vision a thicker traditional lens does. Add in anti-scratch, anti-reflective, and the cost of the lenses alone were around $400 for the customer. Pearl Vision's cost for the lens blanks? $23. The entire cost of the Essilor equipment in the lens lab at my location was only $250,000. and we regularly sold 800 glasses. And the part that I really hate. Main Medicare at the time wouldn't provide coverage for anti-scratch coating. It was technically an upgrade. We couldn't buy lens blanks that didn't have it. My instructions were to strip the anti-scratch coating when making lenses for main care clients. I ran the lab. Guess what I never did? Undefined. Any cable, USB, HDMI, etc. They cost pennies to make. Someone once said they asked the company why they were selling their product for $200 if it costs $10 to make it. And the company responded, because people buy them for $200. Reminds me of a guy who worked for Bethesda being asked why they don't make a new Elder Scrolls game. He answered pretty plainly. Because people are still willing to buy Skyrim. Probably the same reason for no GTA 6. Grey Goose vodka. Didn't they make the bottles taller so they would only fit on the top shelf? Ingenious. Basically. But the Kirkland vodka is even taller. Many mattresses. Especially memory foam ones. New build houses in the UK. Built by the lowest bidder. To the lowest standards possible. Crammed in so densely that two detached houses can be less than 18 inches apart. The biggest scam is that the developers try to sell the house, but retain ownership of the land that it's built on. Then charge rent for the land. For this speep they want a minimum of 350,000. Babies. Both adopting and buying a baby on the black market takes serious money. Diamonds. Natural diamonds are made for free in nature and harvested using slave labor. Lab-created diamonds still cost 45% less. Most fast fashion. A pair of jeans that costs $4 to produce but costs $40 for you to buy is a 1000% markup. I got a pair of jeans when I visited America. I paid maybe $30 for them and wore them for 10 years. Best jeans I've ever owned. They were threadbare by the time I was ready to part with them. I wasn't ever able to find the brand online when I wanted to replace them. Wish I'd gotten multiple pairs. Wrangler's work jeans. The cheap ones. Or their bargain brand rustlers. They last a lot longer than name brand fashion because they are made for real work. Crocs. True. Those clogs use a sorta complicated mold, but that's it. There's no manual labor to put them together or fabrics or stitching. It's cheap foam. So you can find generic versions on other countries with the same quality and the cost is a couple bucks. Reddit Gold. Reddit Platinum. Undefined. Those 350 Nikes cost maximum $20 to make. Shipping included. Oh. And the $1,500 ones also cost about $20 to make. Crepes. We make them often at home here in France. 250 g of flour. 2 eggs, some milk. Maybe butter. You get 25 crepes for what? 4 euros of groceries. Some street foods in Paris or other big cities will sell them 4 or 5 euros sometimes. And they buy the ingredients in big bulks at cheaper prices, so they make an even bigger margin. They make 100 euros of crepes for 3 euros of batter and add the toppings. Let's say 7 euros for a pot of Nutella, sugar and lemon or whatever. 100 euros for 10 euros. Stonks. It's well known by people who work in restaurants in France that crepes are highly profitable. Beats headphones cost 17,000 to make. And are sold for 100 to 500. That's insane. Undefined. If you want a better suggestion. My Skullcandy Hesh 3s sound 3x better than my old Beats. At only 100. I have a fairly large head. And having the headphones be able to stretch to fit is very important. And these work perfectly for that. Popcorn at movie theaters is, I think, the most expensive commodity. McDonald's fountain drinks. Anyone's fountain drinks. The product cost is around 3 cents and the cup is around 10 cents. For most restaurants, drinks help balance the food cost for more expensive items. Politicians. Face masks. I would imagine it doesn't take much to make 15 of them. And with the virus, they have jacked the price up. A gas station near me started out selling them at 99 for one. Came in one day and they only had them 3 for $9.99. Came back a couple weeks later and they had them for $99 again. Wedding cakes. Wedding anythings. Anything related to a wedding is double to 10x the normal cost. Razor blades. They are produced at like 15 cents but are sold for 3 per blade. French fries / chips / whatever you want to call them. McDonald's buys its potatoes at around 20 cents to the pound. You can get about 4 medium fries $1.79 out of a pound of potatoes. Even if transport, labor, and other overhead triples the cost, that's still a profit margin well over 1000%. Margins on soda are even higher, while burgers and other items have more ingredients and complexity and are thus more expensive to produce. Apple products. Kylie Jenner makeup brushes. iPhones. A 1000 iPhone is made for around $350 to $400. Bottled drinking water. You're paying for the plastic. The obvious IKEA furniture. But the big scam is those little decorative pieces they sell at Target, Walmart, Marshall and etc. The likely are made out of the thinnest sheet metal, recycled pallet wood, or sawdust glued together. Slap on a nice finish, veneer, or paint and sell it for like $500 or more. Even worse, that stuff is so easy to mass produce. And don't get me started on holiday decorations. You could consider game microtransactions to have the highest profit percent. Printer ink. Most expensive liquid in the world, I think, by volume. But costs less than $1 to make, sells for 60 most of the time. I used to work for a music store and we got CDs at cost. There was a huge markup on those. Refrigerators. Gucci. Tesla. Soft drinks at restaurants like from a fountain. They literally cost like 2 cents each. But some places charge nearly 5 for a soda. Also, pasta from a restaurant. The markup on those two things is insane. Console controllers, but maybe I'm just bad at keeping them from breaking. Bitcoins. Clothes. Especially athletic wear. Has anyone said vaccines yet? Anything from China.